Hello, and welcome to Investigative Math. Today, we will be learning how to take the square root of a perfect square in your head. So let's get to it. For our first problem, we need to find the square root of 3,844. So our first step is to ignore these two rightmost digits. So for now, we're not even going to pay attention to this 44. Now, once those are out of the picture, look at what you have left, the 38. We need to find the largest perfect square that is less than 38. Now I've written down some perfect squares to the right here for reference, and it looks like the largest perfect square that is less than 38 is going to be 36. Once you have that, just take the square root and that will be your tens digit. Alright, now we have to look at this side of the square root again. So what you want to do is look at the ones digit, or 4, and try to find perfect squares of single-digit numbers that end in 4. So for example, 2 squared is equal to 4, and 8 squared is equal to 64. Both of those have units digits of 4. So that means the ones digit of our answer is either going to be 2 or 8. But how do we find out which one? So what you want to do is take the tens digit and multiply by one more than itself. So 6 times 7 is 42. Again, we don't want to look at this 44, the two rightmost digits, and instead just at the 38. If this 38 is less than 42, we use the lesser of 2 and 8. But if that 38 was greater than 42, then we would use the greater of these two, or 8. Since 38 is less than 42, we take the lesser of these, and so our ones digit is going to be 2. Alright, so to recap, first, you want to ignore the two rightmost digits. And so we're only looking at the 38 right now. Then you want to find the largest perfect square that is less than 38, or 36. Square root of 36 is 6, and that's going to give you your tens digit. Next, just look at the ones digit. And we want to find a perfect square of a single digit number that's going to end in a 4. So the two numbers that work are 2 squared, which is 4, and 8 squared, which is 64. So that means our ones digit is either going to be 2 or 8. But which one is it? The way you figure that out is take the tens digit of the answer you've already figured out and multiply by one more than itself to get 42. Now, again, we're going to ignore these two rightmost numbers. And since 38 is less than 42, we use the lesser of these two. So our ones digit is going to be 2. Alright, on to the next question. We need to find the square root of 1,849. Again, we want to ignore the two rightmost digits and just focus on the 18 for right now. So we want to find the largest perfect square that is less than 18. From our chart over here, it looks like that number is going to be 16. The square root of 16 is 4, and so that's going to be our tens digit. Now, erase our little mark out, and we want to find a perfect square that ends in a 9, since the units digit of the number we're taking the square root of is a 9. So there are two numbers that work for that. 3 squared, which is 9, and 7 squared, which is 49. Both of those have 9 in the units digit. So the ones place of the square root of 1,849 is either going to be 3 or 7. So, which one is it going to be? Well, the way we figure this out is we take the tens digit that we've already figured out and multiply by one more than itself. 4 times 5 gives us 20. Now we want to ignore the two rightmost digits again and just focus on the 18. Since 18 is less than 20, we take the lesser out of 3 and 7, or in this case, it's going to be 3. So the square root of 1,849 is going to give us 43. Alright, to recap, our first step is to ignore the two rightmost digits, or 49, and just focus on the 18. We want to find the largest perfect square that is less than 18. So, from our chart over here, it looks like that's going to be 16, and when we take the square root of that, you get 4, which is our tens digit. Right, next, look at the ones digit of the number you're taking the square root of, and find perfect squares that have the same ones digit as that. So in this case, we have 9, and so we want perfect squares of one-digit numbers that end in 9. We have 3 squared, which is equal to 9, and 7 squared, which is equal to 49. And so the two numbers that could be our ones place are 3 and 7. But which one is it? The way we figure that out is we take the 10th digit that we figured out, multiply by 1 more than itself to get 20. 4 times 5 is 20. And then ignore these two rightmost digits again. And since 18, what we have left, is less than 20, we're going to use the lesser of these two. So our ones place is going to be 3. And so the square root of 1,849 is going to be equal to 43. All right, and that does it for taking the square root of a perfect square. Now that you have an idea of how to do this kind of question, I have provided a problem set in the description of this video for you to check out for yourself. If you need me to clarify anything for you, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, leave a like, and if you really loved it, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you later.